Hello and welcome to today's video where I will be showing you all the Doctor Who gifts I got for Christmas. Before I begin, I just want to say I hope you all had a lovely Christmas, whether you spent it on your own, with family or friends. I think it goes without saying that 2020 has been a terrible year, so a good Christmas is the least that we all deserved, and I really hope you had a nice time and you got everything you wanted. Without further ado, let's get on with the video. Beginning with one of the smallest items, but it's definitely one of my favourites, we have a Lego 10th Doctor. Ever since I became a Doctor Who fan back in 2007, I've wanted one of these, so to finally get one 13 years later is literally a dream come true. And one of the amazing things about it, if you swivel the head round, he's wearing his red and blue 3D glasses that was featured in the Series 2 finale.
Well, isn't anyone going to ask, what is it with the glasses?
What is it with the glasses?
I can see, that's what!
It's quite pricey, I think it's about £15, and you basically can get it from an online store called minifigs.me, I think. I'll put a link in the description down below. But yeah, they have, I think, all the Doctors, including good old Jodie Whittaker. Quite a few companions as well. But obviously, David Tennant, being my favourite Doctor, had to ask for him. And I'm absolutely delighted how he turned out. He looks just like the real thing. Moving on to DVDs, we have Doctor Who Series 12. You may be surprised that it's taken me this long to get it, considering I think it came out in March, so 9 months ago. But to be honest, I was so disappointed with how few special features this has that I wasn't fussed about getting it any sooner. Normally, when a new Doctor Who DVD comes out, for the new series, I should specify, I get it straight away. But for the first time ever, I just was not fussed about getting this as close to the release date as possible. Because if I quickly read out the special features for you, all it has is closer looks, which are those like 3 minutes behind the scenes that were put on YouTube after every episode. There's a couple of audio commentaries, that's something that makes it somewhat worthwhile getting, but I think there's only 3 of them, and compared to what we used to have with the Russell T Davies era DVDs, every single episode had an audio commentary, and I know it must take a lot of time and effort to put together, and this isn't the first DVD that's sort of held back on the commentaries, but it's just the fact that previous DVDs have at least had quite a few special features, whereas this one, you've literally got the closer looks, the audio commentaries, I think there's a couple of things for the episode resolution, and that's it. Yeah, so it is quite disappointing, and like I said, it's why I held off on getting it for so long, but it's still good to finally own it. You might be seeing more videos to do with Series 12 on my channel now that I've got the DVDs to rip. But yeah, so that's that one. Another DVD I got was The Power of the Daleks Special Edition. For those of you that don't know, this is Patrick Troughton's very first story in Doctor Who. Sadly, it's one of the many Second Doctor stories that has been lost in the BBC's stupid policy of junking old episodes. So the entire thing is animated. Unlike the Series 12 DVD, this has loads of special features, so I'm definitely going to enjoy looking at them. And yeah, it's just going to be great to see even more of the Second Doctor. Moving on to audios, we have Out of Time 1, starring good old David Tennant and Tom Baker. So this is something I've been looking forward to getting ever since it was announced, Obviously it's a dream come true for all Whovians to have the 10th Doctor and 4th Doctors meet. They're arguably two of the most popular Doctors, and I mean, it's sad to think about really, but Tom Baker is getting older now, and any day now he may sadly pass away. So to have things like this, where he's doing as many stories as possible, have him meet as many Doctors as possible, we just got to make the most of all the time we have with him, basically. Another audio I got, you might see a theme starting to emerge here, is the 10th Doctor Adventures, Volume 3. So this sees the return of Catherine Tate as Donna Noble, and also good old Wilfred Mott, and the Jadoon, actually. This set has quite a few returning characters and foes, and of course Sylvia Noble, Donna's mum. Having listened to the first set that Donna did, the 10th Doctor Adventures Volume 1, it was just like returning to Series 4. It was like they hadn't been away, basically. Both David Tennant and Catherine Tate, they slipped easily back into their roles. So I knew I wouldn't be disappointed with this. I've already listened to all 3 stories, and the behind the scenes, and the documentary that came with this. So I can say that this is absolutely worth getting, even though it is a bit on the pricey side. I'll quickly show you the booklet that comes with it. So this is what all the discs are kept in. You get 5 discs. Disc 1, No Place, that's the first story that features Wilfred Mott and Sylvia Noble as well. Disc 2 is the story 1 Mile Down, which is basically, it's set underwater and it has the Jadoon in it. Disc 3, The Creeping Death, that's set in London 1952, and that's all about the Great Smog that affected London for a couple of days. So it's a nice story that's grounded in history, I found. And actually I think that was my favourite one from the set. Disc 4 is basically interviews with the cast of all 3 stories. And then Disc 5 is a bonus documentary, David Tennant at Big Finish, which basically has, I think, snippets of various interviews David Tennant did when he contributed to all the Big Finish stories before he became the Doctor. So that's quite interesting to listen to. The booklet also contains storyboards for some of the scenes in the episodes, along with concept art, and that's quite cool to look at. Really good box set that, and definitely worth getting. I actually got a 3rd Big Finish box set for Christmas. This was the 10th Doctor and River Song. I haven't actually got it with me because I've just sold it on eBay. The reason for that is basically when it comes to Big Finish, I prefer having download copies. So basically I got my parents to buy this, downloaded the digital copy for myself, and then I sell on the physical copy. So I'm going to do exactly the same with the audio dramas I've just shown you. But the 10th Doctor and River Song, literally put that on eBay yesterday and already it's sold. So it shows how in demand they are. I've heard really good things about the box set, so I'm definitely looking forward to listening to them. Moving on to the final couple of gifts. They're both books. We have, I might as well show them at the same time. We have Time Lord Victorious, The Night, the Fall and the Dead, and Time Lord Victorious, All Flesh is Grass. So these are quite clearly part of the Time Lord Victorious storyline, which, if you don't know about, where the hell have you been? Because it's been publicised to death and it's literally inescapable. I'm not an expert on Time Lord Victorious, so do correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is how the 10th Doctor actually enters the storyline himself. So in this one he goes back to the Dark Times, which is where a lot of the media is set, meets Brian the Ood, who appears in a few other stories, and then in the second one this deals with the repercussions of the first book, and as you can see it also features the 9th Doctor and the 8th Doctor. So I've already started reading this book, really enjoying it so far. It's set between the waters of Mars and the end of time, so the 10th Doctor is quite a dark character. Obviously he's just coming off the back of the fact that Adelaide Brooke killed herself, so he's not in the best of moods.
I don't care who you are. The Time Lord Victorious is wrong.
The villain is the Coutura, I think that's how you pronounce it, and that seems to be the main villain of this Time Lord Victorious storyline. They're quite threatening actually. They're the reason that death exists. They judge every species and give them a certain number of years or days or weeks, whatever it is, to live. So it's a really clever idea, and in the couple of chapters I've read so far, it's well executed and really dark, which is exactly what I love in Doctor Who stories. So I'm definitely having a good time with this, and obviously once I get to the end of it, I'll move on to the second novel. So that's it. That's all the Doctor Who gifts I got for Christmas 2020. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, as it really does help me out, and let me know in the comments what you got for Christmas, as I'll be really interested to know. I hope you have a wonderful start to 2021, and I will see you at some point in the new year for a video all about Revolution of the Daleks. But until then, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. See ya!